What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, gamer? Um, Sounds like I'm in a cave in the open. I've had some weird issues. You guys were telling me that like there was an echo the other day, and then I tried to replay the intro video and I didn't hear anything. But I did look at the VOD and I could tell there was an echo on it. Now you're saying it sounds like I was in a cave. I don't know, man. I mean, look, to an extent, I'm in a very small area here, so sometimes you're going to catch a little bit of an echo. That's another reason why I use sound suppression. It helps out a little bit with that with my microphone. Um, I don't know. I'll take another look at it, man. I'll take another look at it and see if it sounds any different for me than it usually does. I don't know, man. I don't know. Thanks for letting me know, though. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good day. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I hope your weekend's going well. I don't know what we're playing today. I have no idea. I don't want to play more Roller Champions. It's a buggy mess, man. It's a buggy mess. And I don't know. I've got Among Us loaded up. We had some community members saying that might be a play. I might just go play some of our back pocket games for a little bit today. Maybe either some Slay the Spire, or Loop Hero, or BPM, something like that. I don't know, man. We'll see. We've still got a lot of showcases today, so like half the stream's going to be taken up with news and showcases. So it'd probably be cool just to like chill out, play something nice and relaxing, and chill. I don't know, but I like doing weekend stuff with the community, so we'll see what we can figure out. Okay. Again, I hope everybody's weekend's going very well. Let's go ahead, do what we do, jump into this news. Cool. Let's go. Let's go. Um, we'll pull this up. Microsoft employees suggest Forza Motorsport and Avowed will appear at the showcase today for Microsoft Bethesda. We already kind of knew that was going to be the case, but we'll read it real quick. Starfield director says Bethesda is putting on finishing touches. This is going to be a good thing to talk about right here because a lot of what had come out regarding people's impressions of what they had seen and maybe even gotten their hands on as far as Starfield up to this point was it was not looking very good. And then all of a sudden they delayed. And I think one of the big things is that there was talk that the space flight in it was pretty brutal, not very good. And any kind of game that has to do with space travel where you're able to, man the ship and fly around, people are definitely going to want a good experience. So I don't know. We'll take a look at that and see what it has to say. I'm not. Here's the thing. The thing that's really tough right now about all the showcases and everything is that we get articles like this that I'd really like to dive into, but we have so much other news that we need to get to as well. And the thing is, I don't think it's necessary for us to dive into these types of articles because ultimately I've been watching like every showcase with you guys in an attempt to get you guys exposure to games that maybe you would be interested in. It's same thing for me. Trying to find out some games coming up that I'd be interested in. So basically, the entire time we're watching these showcases, I'm going over to Steam and like wish listing games and stuff like that. And so I'm not gonna dive into these right now. I'm cool with hitting these normally when we're outside of like showcase times and stuff like that. But right now, it's just not something like all of these wholesome indie games. There you go, gamer. That's what I'm talking. You gonna be? What are you gonna be playing today, dude? So it's just not worth diving into these. We've seen a lot of this stuff already. New phone is so good for gaming. We'll take a look at this new piece of tech. Hmm. By the way, here's kind of what's going on today. So we've got the Xbox Bethesda game showcase, and we've got the PC gaming showcase. Okay, let me pull something up real quick. See if there's anything else that we might want to make sure we catch. Yeah. Uh, so that's it. PC gaming show and Xbox Bethesda, but those are going to be good showcases, I think. So I'm excited for them. The way this is going to play out is, so we've got PC gaming show, which starts at 2:30 p.m. I think is what that is. And the Xbox Bethesda showcase starts at noon. So right at lunchtime, we'll hit Xbox and Bethesda, and then we'll go into the PC gaming show right after that. Okay, and we'll end the stream on that one. So that's the play. We'll have some gaming time this morning. We'll figure out what we're gonna play. But that's how it's gonna go down. We've hit on both of these, and we've talked about that. Xbox is planning a Banjo-Kazooie revival. Take a look. We've hit on the Humble Bundle for Capcom. You get some pretty good games there for just $20. I think it's around 10 or 11 games. Might as well pull that up. That'll be the one later today, but we'll keep it up. We've talked about all this Axie Infinity stuff. Blockchain NFT game that ran on a cryptocurrency economy that got hacked for 600 mil. Be very careful, guys. Getting into any kind of, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but be very careful. NFT, blockchain, cryptocurrency games are just very, very scummy. Very skamazed, man. Something about God of War Ragnarok. We'll pull that up, see if that's worth taking a look at. All right, we watched Future Game Show yesterday. Pretty solid showcase. We read about this yesterday as well, if you're not familiar. So I had some issues with the news segment from yesterday. It will be public very, very soon. It will happen during the stream today. I had some issues because we watched a 30 to 40 second video of one of Netflix's new games coming to their platform. So there was a huge issue with me getting my news segment from yesterday uploaded because Netflix, my news segment got flagged for copyright by watching a 40-second trailer of Netflix, one of Netflix's new games coming out. So we will no longer be taking a look at anything Netflix trailer wise, anything like that on the channel. In any kind of content we're producing that would potentially go up on YouTube. Okay. It's a fun time, man, for copyright stuff. Let me tell you what. Disney Speedstorm looks like Mickey Mouse Mario Kart. Let's take a look at that. GameStop makes some of the best Xbox games as cheap. We'll take a look at that. Switch Online adds 3 more free Super Nintendo games. Okay, let's take a look. A Steam game made free to keep for a very limited time. We'll take a look at that as well. Let's pivot over to our other search. Watch Dogs. That's what you're playing. Dude, I just realized, you know what's funny? I just realized that I have like Watchdog, one of the Watchdog games on my Ubisoft account. I've never even played it. Yeah, we saw this yesterday. God of War planned for November. Hopefully, it's coming to PC at the same time as PlayStation consoles. That would be amazing. We hit on this yesterday too. Netflix announcing Dragon's Age animated series. Again, the news segment from yesterday will be up on YouTube very soon. So if you're interested in some of these things that we've already hit on previously yesterday, then in a limited amount of time here from us being live, it'll be public on YouTube. Okay. We've got that pulled up already. We've already talked about the new TMNT Shredders. What is it? Shredders Revenge, I think. Game looks pretty cool, man. 6-player co-op. Very nostalgic feeling game. The way it was animated and everything. It looks really good. Like the old Turtles games. We've hit on this already as well. I don't think that's a surprise. I'm not going to dive into this. Well, I don't know. We could. Some of Netflix's most popular shows will soon become games. That makes a lot of sense. We'll take a look, see what they're saying. Yo, rando motes on. Oh, close. Okay. Okay. Get your random mode in. We've hit on this about 3 days ago as well. So check out the news segment from probably like the 9th. And we talk about the China issuing 60 new video game licenses. We've talked about that a couple of days ago. Talked about this yesterday. We talk about this issue a lot. Video games getting too expensive. We talk about that quite often. Again, there's Axie Infinity we've hit on. ESA is saying that E3 will be back in 2023. You know what? I will believe it when it happens. Okay? Even if it comes back. Even if it comes back, I am thinking it's not going to be quite the show that it used to be. I think a lot of these developers and platforms and companies and things, I think they've figured out that they don't necessarily need to be part of E3. And I think E3 has, in their eyes, become something that's kind of unreliable as far as an expo, as a show. And so I think they're going to continue to just find their own way to show off their products outside of E3. They might still show up there too, but I don't think E3 is going to be as big of a thing as it was in the past. Last page, last page. They already have. Unions have already cracked into the video game industry. It's just very early in that venture there. Most notably of recent was Raven Software, subsidiary of Activision Blizzard, that they voted and their union got approved. We knew that one was coming for a long time too, and it finally came to fruition for those people. Elon Musk reveals an exciting video game genre which innovative Starlink would deliver seamlessly. Okay, we'll take a look there and see what that's about. We've already hit on Marvel's Midnight Suns stuff. And PlayStation releasing all of its stuff on PC and mobile coming up. Hit on this. This is a game called Grit that is on the first blockchain game to be on the Epic Store. It's a battle royale type game. We've looked at this. Okay. Okay. Let's stick with what we got here. Take a look, see. Take a look, see. I really want to grab one of these controllers very soon and try out the DualSense. I've always been a fan of PlayStation controllers, and not that I'm a heavy controller user or anything, but I would definitely like to try it out. I've always used PlayStation controllers, and I would like to get a taste. Highly anticipated PlayStation game God of War Ragnarok is planned for release this November, according to 3 people familiar with the game's development, despite reports this week that it had slipped to 2023. Publisher Sony Group is expected to announce the release date later this month, 2 of the people said. God of War Ragnarok, the latest entry in the long-running series and a direct sequel to 2018's God of War, was announced in 2020 for PlayStation consoles. Sony has delayed the game several times since then, both publicly and internally, as its developers deal with the pandemic and other production challenges. Earlier this year, it was planned for September, but it was recently bumped to November. A spokesman for Sony didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. The new game is expected to be a big hit and one of Sony's key pieces of software as it works through hardware challenges. The Japanese video game publisher and manufacturer has been unable to make enough PS5 consoles to keep up with demand, costing it market share. God of War Ragnarok will be available both on the new console and on the old PS4, which has sold more than 117 million units, giving the game a substantial install base. The first game sold nearly 20 million copies. A recent report from the European gaming website Game Reactor, combined with the game's absence at big industry events such as Summer Games Fest and Sony's own State of Play, led to speculation that God of War Ragnarok wouldn't be out until 2023. No dates are certain in the turbulent world of gaming development, and it still may still be delayed again. But as of this week, it's still on track for November, the people said, asking not to be identified, discussing information that isn't public. So, unfortunately, it doesn't say anything about it coming to PC, but we'll just have to see. We'll see. They don't have an official release date yet. It's just tentatively November of this year, right? So we'll get more on this, I'm sure. Disney Speedstorm looks like Mickey Mouse Mario Kart. Yeah, we've seen this. This week, IGN published a hands-off preview of the upcoming Disney Speedstorm kart racer and gave us a bunch of new information about the project. The game is being created by Gameloft, developers of the popular Asphalt series. Looks pretty much like you'd expect. A colorful cast of Disney characters, exciting-looking tracks, and the tried-and-true kart racer staple of easy-to-grasp, tricky-to-master vehicle handling. However, the gameplay twists seem to come by way of individualized abilities for each racer. For instance, Hercules can summon Pegasus and receive a turbo shot by driving in his magical slipstream, and Belle can summon obstacles ahead of opponents using her enchanted mirror. These sound like potentially pretty interesting alterations from your standard kart racing, and despite the game being a freemium release, which often gives gamers pause. Seems like it could be one to keep an eye on when it drops on an unconfirmed date later this year. What's Captain Jack gonna do? Throw out rum? Yeah, we saw the F1 stuff yesterday, so I'm not gonna read all that. GameStop makes some of the best Xbox games as cheap as $1. Some of the best Xbox games across the original Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One are currently dirt cheap, courtesy of GameStop. The catch is that most of your deals are for pre-owned copies of these games, which means if you prefer your Xbox games to have that brand new smell, then all the deals below will do nothing for you. If you can look past the condition of the games, though, there are some incredible deals to be had, including on games that are becoming harder and harder to find. Interestingly, making up the bulk of the list are Bethesda games, which have been going on sale at an increasing rate. Meanwhile, Konami, 2K, Bungie, and Ubisoft and BioWare are also represented. That said, every deal below is a limited time offer, which means by the time you're reading this, the deals may have expired or changed. Below, you can check out every deal, which includes the game title, a trailer, pricing information, a description, and a link to its unique GameStop listing. Gears 5 for $2.99. Link. Prey for $4.99. NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, 99 cents. Dishonored 2 for $4. Metal Gear Solid 5, $5. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, $5. Dragon's Age Inquisition, $5. Valiant Heart, The Great War, $4.50. Some Xbox 360 and original Xbox classics. Fable 3, $1. Fallout 3, $1. Halo 4, $1. Halo 3, $2. Mercenaries Playground of Destruction, $2.50. So there you go. If you're interested in some old pre-owned titles from GameStop, there's a few to be had for fairly cheap. Yeah. Nintendo Switch Online adds 3 more free Super Nintendo games. Nintendo announced yet another drop of free Super Nintendo games. For those subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online this week, just as we've seen from past announcements, the announcement and the games' releases happen at the same time as a welcome surprise for subscribers and Kirby fans in particular. Those games in question are Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Land 3, and Kirby's Dream Course. And you can play them right now so long as you have an active Nintendo Switch Online subscription. The 3 Kirby games from the SNES era were confirmed for their Nintendo Switch Online appearances in an announcement shared by Nintendo on Thursday. That was not edited very well. In case those names don't ring bells, considering how old the games are now and how many Kirby games Nintendo has released over the years, perhaps the box artwork for the game shown below will trigger your nostalgia. Nintendo also confirmed that the secret modes for all these games are unlocked from the start, so there's no need to go digging up old wikis or forums to learn more about the game's secrets. Check them out. That's awesome. With these older games now added to Switch Online, Kirby fans continue to win after other recent releases and additions gave them more play. Back in March, Nintendo Switch owners were treated to a brand new Kirby game with the release of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, a game which evolved yet again on the simple formula Kirby boasts. Our review praised the unique twists the game came up with, while still maintaining the appeal Kirby fans look for in a new game. In addition to that new game, fans also got an older Kirby game with the release of Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Though that one was only available to those who have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack and had some pretty egregious issues when it was released. Nintendo did end up resolving those, however, so things are running much smoother now for Kirby fans new and old. Yep, they're available now. So if you're interested, you've got Switch Online, or even if you don't, and you want to play these old Kirby games, available on Nintendo Switch Online, all right? A Steam game has been made free to keep, but PC users of the digital storefront only have a limited time to capitalize on the offer. The offer more specifically comes the way of independent developer SC Jogos, who has its game Ninja Stealth completely free to download until June 13th at 7 a.m. Usually the game costs $4.99. Why it's been made free, we don't know, but it continues the pattern of smaller independent games being made free on the platform. On Steam, the game actually has accumulated 651 user reviews, which is a decent amount. Since its release on June 4th, 2016, 73% of users have reviewed the game positively, giving it a mostly positive Steam user review rating. As a ninja, you will need to always be hidden in the shadows. Your objective is simple: escape the evil facility from a company that is trying to conquer the world. The Polo Jocos is an evil facility founded by one of the worst men ever encountered, the evil Mr. Tinker. Reads an official blurb about the game. He is building a new chemical that will affect humanity in the worst way ever possible. He plans to use his chemicals to sell it in the black market and then extend his empire even more. You as a hero enter the facilities to get his chemical, steal the formula of it, and put an end to Mr. Tinker's evil empire. Let's see. Ninja stealth. Let's see what this is about. That's Ninja Stealth. So if you're interested, it's free right now on Steam. Yeah. You can just go add it to your account. Cool. Um, Shut your mouth. Some of Netflix's most popular shows will soon become video games. Dude, please. Having lost more subscribers than it gained for the first time in more than a decade, Netflix is putting a lot of hope into its new gaming initiative. We've talked a lot about this. We've read a lot about this. Launched in November of last year, Netflix game started out with 5 games. Stranger Things 1984, Stranger Things 3 The Game, Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and Teeter Up. Yeah, we already know they're going to be bringing like 50 more games. We already know the other the acquisitions they've made of other devs. Okay, so the most eye-catching one is a game being built around the chess blockbuster The Queen's Gambit about female chess prodigy Beth Harmon. Other show-inspired games that will come to Netflix at some point in 2022 include a role-playing game with characters from Shadow and Bone, cool. A heist simulation game, that was a pretty cool show, I liked that. A heist simulation game modeled after La Casa de Papel, Money Heist in English, and a puzzle game from Netflix's baking show Nailed It. Yep. So there you go. Some of the games that they are creating right now that'll be on their platform fairly soon. By the end of the year, it looks based on a few of their shows. Elon Musk reveals an exciting video game genre which his innovative Starlink would deliver seamlessly. We previously informed you about a YouTuber testing the limits of the Elon Musk-owned franchise Starlink. In addition, we had also mentioned that it grabbed Musk's attention as he retweeted the update on his Twitter handle. Now, 24 hours later, the owner is back with a few updates to the post. For those uninitiated, Starlink is a company providing high-speed, low-latency broadband internet across the globe. It is the ideal solution for travelers as they can experience top speed even in deserted areas like mountains, forests, etc. It all started on June 10th when a popular YouTuber, The Fine Print, posted a video game with a Starlink on the top of the mountain. He seemed to be pretty satisfied with the results as the screen showcased a 79 ping with the upload speed rate, I think it's supposed to be ranging to 165 megabits per second, and the upload at 7.35. It was just a matter of minutes before the video grabbed Musk's attention as he reposted it on his Twitter account. But that soon became history as Twitter user Ivan Escobosa questioned Elon Musk regarding latency difference in multiplayer games. He said, "Have you tried playing multiplayer games? Is the latency difference noticeable?" For those who don't know what this means, let us help. The latency difference is one of the most crucial things for multiplayer games. It gives an ideal advantage to the player as the lesser the difference. It gives an ideal advantage to the player as the lesser the difference lesser will be the delay. I feel like they could have written that better. To simplify more, it means that the player will be with a better connection will view their opponents faster. Yes, obviously. Elon replied to Ivan's question with a firm confirmation of his next gen product. He said multiplayer gaming works pretty well with Starlink, e.g., League is no problem. As we all know, Elon Musk is a huge fan of video games. There are multiple examples to prove this. Most recent ones are his constant game references on Twitter. Amidst the Twitter deal uncertainty, Elon Musk has been posting a lot of different video games. His gaming roots have grown since childhood, as mentioned in several interviews. Now he's on a mission to provide an ideal internet connection to areas with zero connectivity, although this got us thinking if his move was only limited to business or if he was secretly chasing his gaming dream. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk's comments about the Starlink and gaming references? Okay. Yeah, I mean, Starlink, even before its release and even into like the early stages of its release, seemed like a pretty good product for a lot of people. But it was, I know, a situation where I think it was like the beta testing of it. There were only a couple of states that you were able to like grab it and actually give it a shot. I don't know what state it's in right now, but sounds like it's doing a decent job. The thing that's wild, I think a lot of people don't understand, is that there's still there's still a lot of rural areas where um, there's plenty of they're plenty populated, but ISPs just aren't providing service out there because to a lot of ISPs, they don't see it as something worth their money, right? So even if they do provide service, it is pretty terrible service. Um, Whereas Starlink, basically just you set up your subscription, you get a satellite. I think it's like a small satellite dish. You install it somewhere around your house, and you're like good to go. So um, we'll see how it progresses. We'll see how it progresses. Even I'll say this for those rural areas where it's still very hard to get a good internet. Um, I know here in the states, even in those areas where you can get some kind of internet utility, even though it's not very good, you're still having to deal with most of the time terrible ISPs. And I don't know what Starlink service is going to be like or anything, but as opposed to some of the stuff I've seen in the past, having to deal with various companies, uh, could be worth. We'll see. We'll keep track moving forward. Xbox is planning a Banjo Kazooie revival, developer claims. The series could reportedly appear during the Xbox showcase on Sunday, so we'll see today, possibly. Speaking on the Nate the Hate podcast, modern vintage gamer, a respected content creator and developer at Night Dive Studios, claimed that he'd heard talk of a revival of the franchise and that it could be announced during the Xbox and Bethesda showcase on Sunday. Banjo will be at this show and it will be announced, said MVG. I've spoken to a lot of people and I'm not an insider, I'm a developer, but sometimes I hear things. And I was at GDC earlier this year and there were some people talking about Banjo. I've heard that Banjo's upcoming, excuse me. Quote, I've heard that Banjo's coming up for months now from different people. Something's happening with Banjo. What I can't tell you is what it is. Modern Vintage Gamer conceded, admitting he's unsure if it's a new title or a collection of old games. Quote, I feel pretty strong that there will be a Banjo announcement at this show because, man, I just keep hearing about Banjo. He reiterated before discussing Microsoft's lack of family-friendly first-party titles and how Banjo could fill that void. While dormant for some years following its last original game, the Banjo-Kazooie franchise has been more prominent lately. Earlier this year, the first game in the series was added to Switch Online, and Banjo and Kazooie were added as playable characters to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In 2020, Phil Spencer said that any revivals of classic Rare franchises were up to Rare itself. Writing in a VGC column in September 2019, Banjo-Kazooie character artist Steve Males? Malus? I don't know. Called for an HD Banjo-Kazooie remaster in the vein of Activision's Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy. Malus argued that following the Smash Bros. Furor, a remaster project could further prove there's sufficient demand for a no expense spared new game in the Banjo-Kazooie series. Activision's Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy has sold more than 10 million copies. Another quote, now, Banjo and Kazooie have returned in Smash Bros. I've been surprised by the reception. Part of it is being away for so long, and part of it is returning to a Nintendo console. And maybe just a small part because they are decent characters. Malus added, could the reaction of fans to Banjo and Kazooie in Smash persuade Microsoft to make another Banjo game? The revival of Spyro and Crash went pretty well after all. I think a fairly safe way to gauge demand for a new game would be a remaster of the original two games. Then if the interest is there, perhaps we could see Banjo return in the new no-expense spared game he and Kazooie deserve. Yeah, we'll see today. We'll see today in the Microsoft Bethesda showcase. We'll see if we get anything on a new Banjo-Kazooie potentially. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're just gonna skim this. This is not a surprise to us. Again, the Microsoft Bethesda showcase is today. It's a very anticipated showcase. There's been talk for roughly a week now that there was going to be a Forza Motorsport and Avowed content in the showcase. So we'll find out later today. As spotted by Tom Warren this week, a Microsoft Azure specialist posted the following message on LinkedIn. Quote, viewers can expect appearances from anticipated Xbox exclusive flagships like Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Avowed. Now, if you're not familiar, Starfield and Redfall, both of these are games that Bethesda is promoting fairly highly. And they both got delayed here recently. Xbox has a growing number of in-house studios, and with Bethesda's teams now on board, more franchises than ever will take to the virtual stage. We've seen this. I'm not gonna play this right now. I am about 99% sure we're gonna be getting some Avowed stuff today. I can't wait. While it wouldn't be surprising for any of these games to appear at the event, it seemingly begins to fill out the lineup for the show's 95-minute runtime, a significant portion of which may take up the first Starfield gameplay. Obsidian's presence at the show has been all but confirmed as multiple employees have teased that they will make an appearance. And it now appears that they will be on hand to show off Avowed. Forza Motorsport has been in development for years and was teased before Xbox Series X had even been officially announced. So a showing for the next entry in the racing franchise also appears likely. Yeah, here you go. Like I said before, Starfield and Redfall, both of which were previously scheduled to be released this year, were recently delayed to 2023. Yeah, there's also an Xbox extended showcase happening on Tuesday, and we will watch that as well, okay? Give me the wait, what? This should work. This should work. I'm guessing this is where we're going to be getting the Xbox Bethesda showcase. So we've got both of the channels up already that we will be viewing for showcases later today. Okay, starting at like lunchtime. So we're it's like what 12 o'clock, noon, or 12:30 for us CST, where Bethesda, Microsoft Bethesda showcase starts, and then we've got the what's this one? Why am I tripping? I can't remember. PC gaming show will be after that. So that'll be like the rest of the day for us, okay? So once lunch hits, we'll take a quick break. We'll get some food, let everybody get like a bit of a break in, and we'll start up the showcases, and we'll just run the show for the rest of the afternoon. Sorry. Sorry. All right. Don't need that. Don't need that. We read that. Starfield director says Bethesda is putting on finishing touches. Starfield is easily one of the most anticipated games right now. Is it? Is it? Here's my thing. I don't think that Starfield is anticipated in the way that, in regards to people being hyped about the game necessarily, as much as it's anticipated to see if Bethesda can actually make a good game again. I think that's why it's being being referenced as an anticipated game. Is it a AAA production? Absolutely. Um, the premise behind the game and some of the cinematic trailer looks decent. Um, but ultimately, I think the big reason why it would be anticipated at all is for people to see if Bethesda can actually turn their image around a bit as far as what kind of content they're bringing to us, because it's taken a pretty big hit over the last like half decade. Um, so fans are eager to get their first look at it soon. It's heavily expected that Bethesda will have some sort of big info and gameplay blowout for Starfield tomorrow. That's today now at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. Bethesda has been hyping the game up for years now, and it's looking like they're finally ready to show us what the game actually is after vague teases and general promises. Yeah, it got delayed to 2023. We already talked about that. Either way, it sounds like Bethesda is locking everything in place and beginning to polish Starfield. During a recent media briefing via Games Radar, Starfield game director Todd Howard Towered. It's Hot Towered, everybody. Everything just works. Confirmed they are putting the finishing touches on the game right now, meaning the game is likely entering the final stages of development. Xbox's Phil Spencer also took time to express his excitement for Starfield and what he believes it means for the Xbox brand following the acquisition of ZeniMax and Bethesda. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, we'll take we'll take a second to enjoy what this meme is. Okay, after I finish up this article. Okay, if you do not know who Todd Howard is and the memes behind this individual, I am going to inform you. Okay, I'm going to inform you. All right. So let me finish up this article, and then we'll have a bit of a informative session here as a bit of an education about Hod Toward. That's what Hod Tower. His name's really Todd Howard, but we'll talk about it. Okay. Starfield for me is a unique opportunity, said Spencer, Todd Howard has been a friend for an awful long time, and the fact that Bethesda Game Studios is working on a new IP, which has been a long time coming, this will be a hallmark for us in terms of the acquisition of ZeniMax, getting to work with Todd, and bringing this game to the market. It's unclear if Bethesda will be ready to share a new release date for Starfield at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase tomorrow. If they're polishing the game now, they likely have a pretty firm idea of when they plan to release the game. Only time will tell if it comes to fruition, but we can keep our fingers crossed in the meantime. All right. All right. So we'll see. We'll see about the Starfield stuff, okay? Again, I don't think as many people are actually anticipating the game because they're hyped about what it is necessarily, as much as seeing if it's actually going to be something decent from Bethesda. I could be wrong. That's how I feel about it. Is Todd Howard a furry? I love it, dude. People also ask, is Todd Howard a furry? That's great. All right, so let's see. Let's see if this Reddit post. What is "it just works" referring to? What does it mean when someone says that? So this is something that Todd Howard, an employee at Bethesda, said during this year's E3. This was 7 years ago, okay? So this has turned into a giant meme. I'm not 100% on the context. Mr. Howard is currently working on Fallout 4. He has a reputation of promising huge things that are eventually cut from the final product. Yeah, I mean, it was also like, wasn't he a big part of wasn't he a big part of Skyrim too? It is in reference to specifically Tom Howard's presentation at E3 this year for Fallout 4. This was 7 years ago, remember. Specifically the way you can create weapons from junk. He said the system, quote, just works. And so now the Fallout community quotes it as a way of having fun with this with his presentation. I couldn't remember what game it was. I knew it was a while back that he quoted that, but apparently that's what it was from. Now, well, it's turned into this huge meme, right? It's turned into this huge meme that it's like anything that Todd Howard works on, right? Because he is kind of noted for promising things and not delivering on them to an extent, and so everybody goes, "Oh, well, it just works," you know. It's like this huge meme, and you've got these images for Todd Howard, and it's just this meme is just all over the gaming community. It has been ever since then, and you know, especially if it's a game that he's worked on, and um, so especially this reference will go even beyond that, but especially if it's a game that Todd Howard has worked on, and you experience something like super buggy or just really wonky about the game, it just works, right? It just works. So this has become like a huge meme for Todd Howard, specifically anything that he works on. Yeah. So now you know. Now you know. This new phone is so good for gaming that I feel like I'm cheating. What is this? Just finished testing the Xiaomi. Is that how you pronounce that? Black Shark 5 Pro. More accurately, I've finished playing games on it nonstop, but since it's a gaming phone, I think that's an acceptable way of testing it. And it was a hard task putting it down. The handset is great for gaming. It has a powerful processor and good looking screen. Favorite aspect is physical triggers, which you can map to functions in a game. That means when you press the edge mounted buttons, the phone thinks you're pressing a certain area of the screen. So in a shooting game, you can map one to the aiming button, another to the shoot button, making it quicker to press both. Phone triggers. Hardware show. Got little triggers on the phone, yeah? Yeah, it's got like triggers like a controller would. That's pretty wild. It goes on to like talk about mobile games and stuff, kind of. So I don't know, man. This is kind of inventive here, especially with how popular mobile gaming is more in the eastern hemisphere of the world than it is here in the west. But there's no doubt there's a lot of popularity in mobile gaming. It's very lucrative, and with that, you're seeing a lot of games take their big platform titles to mobile, right? Especially games like battle royale games, Fortnite, uh, PUBG, Call of Duty, Apex. I mean, you name it, man. All these shooters are on phones now, and having more accessibility to potential, buttons, trigger buttons, stuff like that might make it a little bit better to game on. Who knows? This might be something that other phones kind of grasp onto coming up. So I'm not familiar with this manufacturer, so I can't talk to the quality of a piece of hardware that they're producing, but that's a pretty nice little incorporation there. That's neat. All right. So, again, I'm going to wrap up the news segment here. We'll figure out, we're going to play some games for a little bit. I don't know what we're going to play. I don't want to play Roller Champions anymore. It's too buggy. It feels really terrible. The game crashes all the time. You start getting a screen stutter constantly in like half the matches or about a third of the matches. It doesn't feel very good. The premise behind the game is pretty neat, and there were some good times with it. But honestly, that's all I needed was like to play a few matches yesterday to kind of feel like, I don't really care to play this anymore. Just mainly because of how buggy it is. It doesn't feel very good. So we'll figure out what we're going to play here in just a moment. But we'll go ahead and finish up this news segment. We will be playing some games, moving on to playing some games, moving on to watching showcases in the last half of the stream today, right? I will get yesterday's news segment made public as soon as possible. We hit a snag with watching a Netflix trailer, a Netflix game trailer, and it got hit for copyright. So I'm having to deal with cutting it out and getting it all ready to roll. So we're almost there though. So it will be up. If you, thanks to everybody who's part of the channel, part of our community, and who is here for the news segment today. Okay, if you are watching this later on as a VOD on YouTube, then can see what you can do about maybe coming and hanging out with us when we do these live every single day at 6 a.m. CST. And if you're enjoying the content, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and maybe even leave me a comment so we can have a bit of a discussion regarding some of these topics we went over today. Okay. Other than that, we're going to move on to our other content, gaming and showcases. But if you are watching this as a VOD, then stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we will catch everybody tomorrow for our June 13th edition of Video Gaming News. Okay?